Happy Over the Hump Day. It's also May 20th, 2020. I thought that was interesting. 2020. I guess we have great vision today, extra great vision. Today we're going to talk about why I think it's ultra critical right now to follow and not lead. And that's an area I usually don't talk about, but I think it's very critical during this stage of where you're at in leading your school district. So again, I think it's all about showing the confidence that you have that you got this. And today we're going to talk more about you're going to have to step back and lead people from behind. You have a lot of moving parts going on. You have a lot of people with a lot of issues. And I really like this quote. Sometimes you just have to walk behind people to lead them forward. So we're going to talk today about this historic year and wrapping it up. I do think we're over meeting on this school restart. It's getting exhausting and I think a waste of time. I also think it's time for you to backwards plan your school year. And then the biggest part of communicating is in leadership is proper communication. And we're going to talk about that today. So to me, I think it's time to stop worrying so much about August and really enjoy the close of the school year. That's what your staff and students are going to remember, is that you're present, you're there, you're not showing stress about the budget, about the upcoming year, all the things that could go wrong. It's time to close those books, tell your county office, tell SSDA, your state committees, I'm sorry, I have to be available and enjoy the close of this historic year, right? And to me, you've got to be there for your kids and do things. So I think it's, do something out of your comfort range. I'm seeing some really creative things being done. Maybe a shout out to the kids. Maybe you do a little dance. Maybe you buy some hats for the staff. Just do something out of your comfort range that kids will remember during this crazy year. And it's not going to be as formal as we go through all the graduations. I still think there'll be some formality to it. But I think it's time for you to do something a little out of your comfort range to do that. I thought of things that people are doing, but I thought of, creating a school time capsule and have people come by with something that reminds them of the time when you shut down in mid-March till today, and put it together in a school capsule. Maybe you can make a nice little craft over the weekend to do that and have families drop off that. Say you're going to plug it in the ground over the summer and have a time capsule for 10 years from now. I think that would be a really cool thing to remind you of this year. And again, really enjoy this time. I know you've got a lot of pressures, but this is an important time for your staff and kids to wrap things up, give them some extra time off, come down the home stretch and get this thing done. Again, I do think this is the time where you're going to follow and not lead. I think some people want to be first on, I've got my plan for next year. I know what I'm going to do, blah, blah, blah. I just think it's time to step back. There's a lot of documents coming out internationally, nationally, regionally, your county office. And I'd step back and hold off for a while. Why? There's too many unpredictable parts. You don't know what your budget's going to be. You don't know how this virus is going to continue to move and change, and our kids going to be more effective. It's just too unpredictable. I mean, you can create some baseline stuff, but to me, it creates a sense of flip-flopping. So you're going to have this idea, you put a committee together, and then over the next 4 to 6 weeks, there's some big changes again. I mean, 2 weeks ago, no one was talking about reopening California so fast. Now it's happening. We're going to learn from that. We're going to see the positives and negatives that small businesses go through and enjoy that. And really, what's the hurry? I mean, really, you don't know what it's going to look like next year. And you don't know if schools are going to be able to reopen in a hybrid model or other type of model. And you saw the big 6 districts today. They said, hey, we're going to start late. If you don't give us our money, we're going to start late. So again, it's too unpredictable. I'd stop for a while and wait. Again, I do think it's important that shows your leadership and let your community know this is how our school district rolls. We are on this. We've got this, right? This is the Roadrunner way, or this is the Dragon way, or this is the Mustang way, and let the community know that's why you're doing this. You're going to enjoy the end of the year, and you're going to get back to them with how school's going to look. Again, I like the idea of having some symbols, whether it's a mask. I saw Stuart down in Stuart Packard of Buttonwillow made a mask with his mascot on the front of the mask. I thought that was really clever. There's shirts out there. There's people buying certain accessories with the school pride. Remember, you're going to have to market to get your kids back. And one way to do that is to get your staff to wear some type of shirt or mask about that. And lastly, remember, don't forget your board. Tell your board you need positive leadership. You're not flip-flopping. You're setting good timelines of what to do. So I think it's important to be strategic. I think you and your admin team, whoever that is, needs to backwards map the start of the school year. So if you're going to open up August 10th or 17th, you backwards map that. You look to see some indicator points. And I think it's threefold. You tell your staff right now what you know and don't know again. Talk about those little things that are bothering you. Talk about the unpredictability of the budget. And that for right now, you're not going to announce what the school reopening looks like until around July 20th. Let's take the time off, get your budgets done, get through the 4th of July weekend, give yourself a couple weeks, have some community forums, and let people know in around July 20th, that's a Monday, is when you're going to announce what the school will look like for August. Okay, so some secret sauce on communicating. Let's humanize the moment. This is a time where you really have to show your care and concern of your community, of your staff, of the fragile people, of the students, and the parents. Remember, they're all hurting out there, so humanize this moment when you're communicating. Tell your school community to enjoy some time off. They've got a big year coming up, so take some time off. Admin's got this. We will communicate with you when we get more information, and we'll look to have some solid information for them around July 17th. There'll be a community announcement on July 20th. You can even move that back and even another week if you have to. And you're going to tell your staff the reason why you're doing that is we're all guessing what it will look like in August or September. So you want to reduce the flip-flopping. You want to be sure of your decision-making. You want to investigate ways to do that and make sure there's PD and training for everybody to get that done. And I do think time is important right now. With budget cuts, the one way you can help with folks is to give them time. I'd go to 4 days work weeks over the summer. I'd give yourself some time and your staff some time just to get away from all this and close it down for a while. You got plenty of work ahead of you in July and August. There's no conferences you're going to be going to. So all this is going to be all in about getting this together for you and your team. And you know what? There's going to be a lot of good models for you to steal from for people that want to be the leaders, and you can take their ideas and steal them. So I would just go with these five key points, right? Let the community and your staff know COVID is changing daily. I wrote in my takeaway, I'm very concerned about the number of children now being affected by COVID weeks after they obtain the virus, and we are losing children. And this is a game changer for me as we really think, children have been protected. So this information's changing, and it gives you another 6 weeks to gather up information, especially as communities restart and come back to opening their businesses. We're going to learn a heck of a lot more to run better schools. You're not going to get the state budget to probably the very end of June. And that gives you some time to look at those budgets and budget cuts and prepare your budgets. We know we're looking at the 10%, but let's see what it's really going to be. And that will help you make some of your decisions. You're going to see all these return to school guidances finalized by our CDE and our state and your local health department and your county office. So in a draft form, it's going to move to more permanency, and there'll be some great examples from you. It also gives you some time to buy necessary supplies based on your school models. So as you think about those things, you can look at the cost of trying to have in-person schooling. I think it's going to be a lot more costly than we think. And you need to put that together and talk to your community about And then let the community know you'll have forms or updates for them in July about what's going on. You'll keep things alive on social media, whether you're on Facebook or Instagram, and you'll keep communicating them as you learn more. But the key is to have a healthy community and take some time off and get ready for next year when it's appropriate. You know, probably no word describes the amount of things that are involved with leadership. And this is really a critical time for you to show that you are dealing with this COVID virus and you've got plans and you're ready to go. But for now, it's time to enjoy the end of the year, get ready for next year, and really take some time off. You're all going to need it. You're going to need some time away from this to shut it down. And to me, I think setting a date in late July is a lot smarter than continuing to guess where you're at. Have a great rest of the week. Enjoy the nice weather, and looking forward to working with you soon.